What a lovely piece of green space, trees, fields, and some lovely nature. Look at this little woodland here. What a beautiful woodland. Have a look at this. My name is Shah. I'm a landscape photographer, passionate adventurer, mountain biker, and a devoted conservationist. A few years ago, my freedom and independence was nearly taken away from doing what I love by becoming a carer for my special needs son. Since then, I've doubled the stakes of my mission to make nature and the outdoors an inseparable and fundamental part of every family. This has now become my project. So I've just stopped at my first green space, quite local to me. Okay, so nothing too fancy going on here. It's just a local park, but I could see that a lot of flowers and plants like daffodils and a couple of bluebells I saw on the way, they're popping out. Very strange to see bluebells here unless they've been planted in this local park. The bushes are starting to blossom, the trees are starting to blossom. You can probably tell from these trees right here, you can see the little buds starting to shoot. So yeah, it's looking like spring already. I'm enjoying it. Right, we're gonna head off to our next green space. What a lovely piece of green space, trees, fields, and some lovely nature. Look at this little woodland here. What a beautiful woodland. Have a look at this. Ah. A little piece of paradise. I don't recall this. I have been down here before, but I don't recall this space. So I can't be 100% sure. I've seen this little piece of wood. But this is lovely. This is really nice, and I think this would be good if I was just going to create a mountain biking trail or a gravel trail and ride across all the paths and trails rather than going through the main road. I think this would come very useful for that. But it's good to know that it's here, and there's little woodlands surrounding the trail where you can stop and pause for a sandwich or some water. Just met an elderly gentleman who's having a lovely walk. I was just adjusting my camera, and he was walking past me, and I didn't recognize him, and I still don't recognize him, but he was a professional road cyclist back in the day. It was really nice talking to him. Oh, that made me feel good, actually. I felt bad for him though, because he actually said that he can't cycle much anymore. At the most he can do is about half an hour to 40 minutes, because he's had a spinal cord operation or spinal injury. Following that, he had a spinal cord operation, and it didn't go quite right, and so he can walk for about an hour at the most. He can cycle for about 30 minutes to 40 minutes, no more, and he's been like that for about 3 years. Oh, very sad, very sad. Oh. Green space number 3. Yeah, this is cool. So here's the thing. Recently I scratched one of my eyes, and it was painful, and the lingering pain lasted till last night. This morning I had still a little bit of pain in my right eye. I don't know how I scratched myself, but I scratched myself, and I didn't enjoy it, to say the least. And it just made me think, and the thoughts that went through my head were things we take for granted. You know, your eyes are perfect, you use them all the time, you don't think about them. You close them, you go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, you use them, and you don't think about them. Only when something happens to you, to your body, to your life, to a loved one, that something actually triggers thoughts and triggers things that make you think that, you know what, there's a lot to appreciate in life and not take for granted. I never took my eyes for granted, but because I didn't think about them much and didn't think about the pain they could be in if something happened to them, and how I couldn't use one eye for a while, that made me think I did take it for granted. And the same goes for this time of year, the spring. And the fact that spring is a time of rebirth, a time of when you come out of winter and you want to revive yourself and feel better and let the rain drop onto the ground and grow nature and nurture our surroundings. Spring is a time of growth. Spring is a time of revival, and spring is a time for exploration. And I have heard tons of people saying, oh, it's still cold, I don't want to get out there, I've still got my jackets on, I've still got my winter jackets around, ooh, it's raining, it's not nice. Look, rain's always going to be there, and the cold is always going to be there in spring, especially in the evenings and early mornings. But the fact is, we're coming out of winter, and the only way you're going to come out feeling alive and feeling fresh and feeling reborn from the winter season, from lockdown, is simply by getting outdoors, getting into nature, appreciating what the spring season has to offer. That's really important. I mean, sometimes it rains, sometimes it's really cold. Recently we've had, in the last 2 days, we've had snow flurries in London, and it's, you know, April, first week of April, and up north they've had lots of snow. So yes, the weather brings with it challenges, but the whole truth and understanding about spring is get out into open green spaces. Hence me doing these green spaces. Get out into the woodlands, into the forests, into nature. Look at the trees change, look at the colors change, look at the flowers budding, the plants budding, the bushes growing. It makes you feel alive, and that's the beauty of spring. Spring is rebirth. It's about alive, about going outdoors and just being found again. After lockdown and the winter we've had, and the lockdown we've had, and the virus we've had, and the lockdown we've had, and the virus I had, personally, I had COVID over Christmas and New Year's, and then we've been in full-on lockdown ever since. I have to make the most of spring. And I'll tell you something. If you don't get out in spring and explore nature and explore our green spaces, it will pass you by before you even know it. And guess what? It'll be summer. And then at the end of summer, you will say, whoa, where did summer go? Oh, where did spring go? Did we even have a spring? The season will pass you by. So my words of advice would be relive, reborn, rebirth, regrowth. Think along those lines and get out exploring your green spaces this spring. Cheers. I've done so far, I think, around about 13-14 miles, and it's not far, it's not long, but a nice little loop, and just enjoying my day, really. So let's head back home, make a nice sandwich, and enjoy the rest of the day.